I do think that at a very young age, I was very cognizant of everything, like body size, body shape, hair color. So I think it does happen. And the shaming has always been there too. And I mean, there's food shaming and there's fat shaming, right? And that is real. The American Medical Association several years ago called obesity a disease. And part of that is because of the pathophysiology that occurs. So actually, there's hormonal changes that occur when people gain weight, and that promotes more weight gain. And when you lose weight, it promotes weight gain. So there is a whole physiology or pathophysiology there. But it was also to take away this stigma that is very big. And when it comes to our kids, it's a very hard thing to deal with. And I actually wrote about this in my newsletter this week. Just yesterday, I was writing about this because I often will get parents who will bring in their kids to me, right?
Yeah.
And I,
You
as a
actually
parent,
talked about that story, one of the stories in your book. I'm trying to remember who it was. I have it in my notes later. Is it Lily? It's
yeah,
someone who came
it is.
in and her mom was
Yes.
like super dressed to the nines and was like, my daughter really needs to lose weight. And you were looking at her like, oh my gosh, what's
Yeah.
happening here?
Yeah. And then we talk about, and then the parents will say it's about their health, which as a physician, we talk, there's this movement of like healthy at every size. And yes, you can be healthy at every size, but I also want to be cognizant of the fact that you are at risk for certain things when you gain weight. So I don't want this messaging to be mutually exclusive. We can be
Yes.
compassionate and yet mindful that, yeah, it is something that can cause risk, right? And if you're have diabetes in your family, right? And that's a thing, then if you gain weight, you have an increased likelihood for diabetes.
So what do you say to these
Anyway,
parents?
so there is that, right? But when a parent comes in and tells me that it's about health, I really want to challenge that notion. I may not challenge it up front with the parent, but let's think about it. If your child has gained 10, 15 pounds over the year because they've been cooped up at home and sports have been eliminated, etc., are you really worried about that 12-year-old getting diabetes? Or are you triggered by your own body issues? Are you
Mm.
worried that now they're going to face, social consequences or backlash? Are you like in your own fear, shame cycle? I challenge that notion that we're really worried about. Yes, we're worried about their health, but I think it's like some percent, 20% health maybe, and 80% our own shit that's getting
Yeah, the
triggered.
baggage. We carry the baggage with
Yeah.
our
And
kids.
so we need to be super mindful of that baggage. And I will share a personal story because I have three kids, very different. My first child is like almost 17. And until a few years ago, she would still ask me, like, Mom, can I have a few M&Ms? I'm like, girl, like you want to be a neurosurgeon and you're asking me if you can have M&Ms? Like, you do you, sister,
Yeah.
right? And then I have
Wait,
like
what do
my,
you think she
yeah,
was really asking you, Adrienne?
well, she has always been a rule follower and she would ask me about everything. So I think in her mind, it really wasn't a food thing because, she was just that child who wanted to be, first child and to do the right thing in every category.